I mentioned in social the other day, we were looking for stories about weddings that were called off. Remember the story I told you a few weeks ago? I had a friend of mine, a buddy, who he had met this girl and kind of raced to the altar pretty quickly. It was all processing really fast.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then she ghosted and was like, I can't do this, and like had one of those moments.
This happens a lot.
I know, and stuff was already like, in motion. So curious if there are any out there that would be willing to tell their story, because these are always just fascinating to me. 470-741-4999. That is our number. Have you ever been involved in a wedding that was called off like last minute or during the event or the week of? Have you ever been involved in, like when they say, if there's anyone here that doesn't want this to happen, and then someone speaks? Do they still do that?
All the money that you lose, especially if everything's already been ordered, invitations are already out there. This happens.
The phone's ringing. Apparently there are. Let's see.
Ooh.
Hey, morning, X. Good morning. Who is this?
Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. How are you?
Hey, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. Where are you calling from?
Smyrna.
Oh, hey, Smyrna. So have you been involved in one of these weddings?
Yeah, so my brother was supposed to get married a few years ago to a girl who was quite a bit younger than him, and he called it off last minute because she was trying to squeeze her mom into living with them without telling him. So he called the wedding off, and I ended up having my 30th birthday party at the wedding venue, and it was a Vegas-themed party, and we had car dealers and a DJ, and everybody dressed up all glitzy, and turned out in my favor.
Oh, so you actually used the wedding for your birthday. That is perfect.
Yeah, I did.
How far in advance was the wedding called off?
Like a week, but a week at most. It was really, really short notice.
And so you just took everything that was already... Did you have to pay for it yourself?
No, the venue was already paid for. So we just used the venue and the DJ, and we just brought in like card tables and some card dealers and paid for that, and stocked the bar, and just had a big Vegas-themed birthday party.
Kind of sort of a happy ending, I guess. Your brother dodged a bullet, and...
Yeah, it all worked out.
Have a great day. We appreciate you listening.
Have a good one.
Well, that was a good twist at the end.
I know. Hey, Morning X, who is this?
This is Becky.
Becky, what are you doing today? Where do you work?
I work for myself. So I'm a real estate agent.
You work for yourself, real estate. Give a plug. What's your real estate company?
Yes.
Yeah. The Get Me Not Group with Local Realty.
Okay. Good job. So were you called off in a wedding or someone you know?
No. So someone I know. I actually planned the wedding and executed everything that she wanted. And then it didn't happen because the groom was not even aware that he was getting married.
What?
How's that?
Wait a second. She planned a wedding and had you plan the wedding, and the groom didn't think he was getting married. How does that happen?
So they weren't even together, apparently. But I asked a lot of questions when I start planning things, and he was always working, or he was always busy, or he was always... there was just a lot of excuses for why he wasn't participating in any of this. And even to the point when it was time for a rehearsal, she was like, no, we're just going to give instructions day of. And I was like, okay, everybody's different. I didn't think anything about it. And got everything ready, cake, flowers, everything was all decorated day of. And went to give her, all the wedding party flowers. She said, I said, where is he? I need to do the boutonnieres. Where are the groomsmen? Oh, they're coming. Don't worry about it. And then I walk back, and one of the bridesmaids was on the phone with him, and he was like, what? I'm not getting married. We're not even together. We've never been together.
What?
What is happening? Yeah.
How, was this woman just having a fantasy and having it live out at everyone's expense?
Yes. So,
whoa.
Yeah. A whole wedding party, bridesmaids, everybody was there for the wedding in, the venue, sitting, waiting.
So sad.
It's very sad.
It was really weird.
2 questions, though, for you. Are you still friends with this person? And B, did you get paid?
No, did not get paid. And no, I am not friends with this person.
Was she just delusional? Was she...
Unfortunately, I think she was.
It's really sad. Really
certifiable, like mental?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that she's ever been, diagnosed with anything. But
that's bad.
It was bizarre.
Well, thank you for sharing the story, and go sell some houses.
Yeah, sorry that happened to you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You live and learn.
But that's your cocktail story. Well, thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, thanks. You too.
Hey, Morning X, who is this?
This is Brian.
Hey, Brian, what do you do for a living, Brian?
Actually, temporarily, I'm working at a FedEx, which is kind of embarrassing. So
no, it's not. What's embarrassing about that?
Dude, it sucks.
Okay, well, there you go.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Locust Grove.
All right, Locust
Excellent.
Grove. You've been involved in a wedding like this that's been called off?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
Well, first of all, I'm a big fan of you guys, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm attending Georgia College and State University. I was studying journalism, mass comm, and the girl, she was a education major, and she was finishing up. She was doing like her student teaching. She was a couple of years older than me, and
so this is a first-person story. This is about you.
Yes.
Okay.
But, I mean, just to be clear, I was not the groom. I was the homewrecker.
Oh, wait, you're the person who caused the wedding to go away?
Yes.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Barn suddenly his ears perked up.
No, well, keep on. I want to hear about this.
Well, just to preface this, I'm not a terrible person.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just fascinated by stories like this. Yeah.
Okay, so we're at Georgia College, Milledgeville, and a friend of mine, Shannon and Megan, they're two friends of mine. They invite me out to go out in Milledgeville one night. I agree. I hadn't been in school long and, had never really been out there. So they invite me to this apartment where everybody is pre-gaming. So, we're all drinking. There's this adorable dark-haired girl, quiet off to the side. I notice her. And she notices my Ben Folds 5 T-shirt and
of course
starts up a conversation, and we're just talking. That night, while we're out, I walked out of the bar in Milledgeville to smoke a cigarette, and I was holding my drink, a Jack and Coke, and I was arrested for bringing that drink outside of the bar. I go to jail that night, and I'm thinking it's all over. I'll never see this girl again. I wasn't really concerned even about jail. I was like, man, I think I met my soulmate, and, it totally got screwed up because of the cops.
Dude, it got screwed up because you went outside with a drink when you're not supposed to. But anyway.
Exactly.
And then what happens?
A week later, I run into Shannon, the mutual friend. So she's like, hey, and Amy really liked you. I mean, you guys really hit it off. And I'm like, yeah, it's just such a shame because I really liked her. So she invites me out again. We are inseparable, Amy and I. But at that point, towards the end of the night, the mutual friends, they start acting a little weird. Like, like this is going too far kind of thing. So I'm, wondering what that is. Okay, so she's engaged, right? She's engaged with this guy that's my opposite. She reveals that later. We're seeing each other. Things get pretty deep. And it's like this back and forth kind of thing. The fiance watches football with her dad. It's like this whole thing
tight.
Where she's got tight. And there's so much pressure. All these people, the mutual friends even, have paid money for the bridesmaids' dresses. So it was very controversial to call this thing off. She said that, she felt pressured, like that was it. Her path was decided.
It sounds like you were just her excuse. You were her easy way out.
Oh, that hurts. Well,
No. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying she could, displace all of her affection towards you and make it that she didn't care about this person anymore, and that's her reasoning for getting out of it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously she wasn't ready to get married, and there was a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm skipping past a lot of drama. There was one night where I'm pulling out somewhere, and it turns out the fiance is behind me, and he was like following my car and all this. So it gets kind of intense.
Yeah, that's not ever going to end well. All right.
No, of course not. Aside from that, I never actually met the guy face to face.
Good. We'd be calling Keith Morrison, and Dateline would be showing up next.
Yes. They had everything picked out. Probably had kids' names picked out. And there I am. It gets so deep that the L word is dropped eventually.
Oh, man.
This whole thing goes on for months. So I was leaving to go to Belize for a month. Okay, while I was in Belize, that would have been her wedding date. That's it. I'll never see her again.
Did she get married?
She did not get married. So my heart is broken. And I get home, and at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, it's like the crowd parts in slow motion, and she's standing there. She did not get married.
Wow.
We reunited at the airport, and that's the gist of it.
And then y'all stayed together for how long?
Okay, we lived happily ever after until we didn't.
Ooh.
Like days, weeks?
I'd say like a year and a half. It's like the relationship couldn't compare to the pursuit.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Dude, I'm sure you're not the only one. I bet it happens a lot. Well, thank you for sharing that story with us. That's an incredible story.
Spoke to her years later after all of this, and she thanked me for that experience.
Of course she did.
She had eventually married someone that she really was head over heels about. They had kids.
Oh.
And she was just like, thank you so much for, showing me that my road was not decided, that it's my life, that kind of thing.
I go back to what I said. She used you as a vehicle, no offense to you, to get out of a bad situation. She was probably too young. She got pulled in because the family was like all of a sudden automating onto, you're our daughter-in-law. This is what we do, or the son-in-law, whatever. Appreciate the story. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Keep up the good work.